After divorcing my wife, Laura moved to France. My daughter, who loved America, came to New York at 25. She applied for a job at a publishing company, fulfilling her dream of working in the U.S. publishing industry. However, during the interview, the two interviewers ridiculed her, saying, "A publishing company for someone who can't write in English, and your English still needs work. You need to study more to communicate properly." Despite the unpleasant comments, my daughter kept her frustration in check. Even though she mentioned that her nationality is American and she is fluent in English, they wouldn't listen. After mocking her endlessly, the interviewers finally told her she was hired. But this was part of a scheme they had. When my daughter attended the orientation, she came back with a face full of sadness and anger, saying, "My employee ID name says incompetent." Upon hearing the situation, I stormed into the orientation and declared, "You're all fired because this building is being demolished. My name is James Johnson. I had a beloved wife and daughter, but I divorced when my daughter was in elementary school. The reason for the divorce was clear. I got so engrossed in my work that I neglected my family. When we got married, my wife came to America with me, but she returned home with our daughter. However, my work is fulfilling, and I have no regrets. I aim to open doors to different cultures and become a bridge between countries worldwide." Laura, who inherited this same mindset, is my only daughter with my French wife. I met my wife while working for an international company and being stationed overseas. The locals were generally charming and friendly. I appreciated their strong self-expression and clear communication of their opinions and intentions. Laura is just as sociable and quickly warms up to anyone with her bright personality. However, I divorced my wife when our daughter was in elementary school. Thank you for always working late. But, for a long time, we haven't really talked, and I don't feel the meaning of being together anymore. For our future, I think we should consider different paths," she told me. I made my wife lonely by choosing to live in America, away from her family and friends. That's why I respected her opinion. After the divorce, Laura went to her mother's home country with her. Her name changed from Laura Johnson to Laura Smith. After about 15 years, she is moving back to America. Arriving at the airport, I wait near the gate where Laura's flight will arrive, feeling a mix of joy and nervousness. I am eagerly looking forward to reuniting with my daughter, and I couldn't sleep a wink last night. When her flight arrives and passengers begin to exit the gate, I search for her. As soon as I see Laura, I wave and call out with a big smile. "Laura!" Laura, excited to see me, leaves her large suitcase behind and rushes toward me. "Dad!" We embrace and share the joy of our reunion. Hand in hand, we leave the airport and head home. Laura, who loves American culture, comics, and cuisine, dreams of working in America, using her language skills. I want to share my love for American culture with the world. To help Laura get closer to her dream, I recommended a certain company. On the way home from the airport, we decide to stop by that company. This is the company where Laura will have her interview. I'm getting nervous. "You'll be fine if you approach it with your usual bright personality, Laura." As we chatted, I suddenly felt someone watching us. When I looked in the direction of the gaze, I saw two people in suits staring at us. "Can I help you with something?" "Oh." The two of them snickered at us. "It's nice, holding hands with a young, beautiful foreign woman." "No, she's my daughter." "Your daughter? You have a daughter?" "It's a secret relationship," the woman whispered to the man in a voice barely audible to us. Feeling annoyed, I suppressed my anger, not wanting to show any conflict in front of Laura. "Do you work at this company?" "Yes, as you can see, it's a major company, so it's not a place for you." "Hey, since a while ago." "Stop, Laura." Laura, with her straightforward personality, felt compelled to speak her mind. She wanted to express her discomfort clearly. However, they might be employees of the company where she could be working soon. I wanted to avoid an unfavorable situation. But beside my frustrated daughter, I clearly remembered. The employee IDs read Mary Jones and Patricia Brown. Even after we got home, Laura's frustration didn't subside. Dad, I don't want to go to that company. Don't worry, it's just those two who are strange. There are many talented people in that company. Really? Yes, I guarantee it. One day, with a tense expression in the living room, Laura practiced for her interview. She organized her strengths and experiences, thinking about how to present herself, and wrote them down in her notebook. Dad, can you play the role of the interviewer? Got it. First, I'll start with my self-introduction. Hello, I'm Laura Smith. Saying this, she tries to shake hands with me, acting as the interviewer. Laura, in the United States at the interview, you should shake the interviewer's hand and keep eye contact at the first. Then, show interest in what your interviewer is saying during the interview. It's bad manners if you invade the interviewer's space. Really, that sounds so American. Well, compared to other countries, yes. By the way, it is important to send a thank you letter soon after the interview. I drilled her on the basic interview manners. Next, let's work on how to answer questions. How would you respond to that question? That's fine, but maybe you should give a more specific example. Laura anticipated common interview questions and thought about how to answer each one. With my feedback, she refined her responses. All right, let's try again. Laura practiced repeatedly to face the interview day with confidence. And finally, the interview day arrived. In the morning, Laura prepared herself, filled with both nervousness and excitement. Laura, be confident. No matter what happens, you'll be fine. I smiled at her and gave her a reassuring pat on the shoulder. Encouraged by my words, Laura walked out with her head held high. From here, it's what I heard from my daughter. When she entered the interview room, she said, "Nice to meet you. It's not our first time, right? You're the girl from before, trying to act big, and yet you still came for an interview." It was Mary Jones and Patricia Brown, who had been rude to us earlier. I'm sorry. Well, let's not worry about it. Please, have a seat. Excuse me. Laura decided to stay calm. So, where are you from? I was born in the United States, but when I was 8, my parents divorced, and I moved to my mom's home country with her. Oh, I see. I thought you seemed like a strong-willed young lady. So, how serious are the people in your mom's country about work? In the U.S., efficiency and quality are emphasized. But how about in your country? Laura was momentarily surprised by Brown's question, but calmly explained the work ethic in her mother's country. However, Jones and Brown continued to ask questions, showing their negative preconceptions about her country and culture. I've heard that people in your country are lax with time. Is that true? It's a problem if you work carelessly. Laura tried to defend her roots, but the atmosphere of the interview grew increasingly heavy. Can you even speak English? Can you write in English? Jones fired off questions rapidly. Yes, I can speak English, French and Japanese. However, since I've lived abroad for most of my life, I'm not very good at writing. A person who can't write in English wants to work at a publishing company. You sure have some nerve. By the way, your English still needs work. You need to study more to communicate properly. Shocked and disappointed by Brown's unexpected comments, Laura was left speechless. Throughout the rest of the interview, they continued asking about her mother's country. It felt as if they were implying that her mother's country and culture were unsuitable for an American company. After the interview, Laura was disheartened, feeling her efforts were in vain. The unfair questions and comments stemming from cultural misunderstandings and prejudices caused her immense stress and discomfort. I can't stand this company anymore. I worked so hard to prepare for the interview, and it ends like this. With teary eyes, Laura stared at the atrium in the lobby for a while. As she started to calm down and was about to leave, she suddenly heard her name called from behind. Miss Smith, Laura Smith. It was the rude Brown. Yes. I thought I should give this to you. Brown handed her an envelope. Inside was a preliminary offer letter. What does this mean? In this global era, we need women like you. We can't afford to let another company take you, so we issued an immediate notification." She couldn't hide her confusion at the sudden change in attitude. "Once your official hiring is confirmed, we'll send you an email with the details of the orientation later." Laura was ecstatic to know she was truly hired. After returning home, she ran straight to me. "Dad, listen, I got the offer." I was honestly stunned. I'd never heard of that company issuing an immediate job offer, but the letter unmistakably had my daughter's name on it. I would later regret not thoroughly checking the contents of the letter at that time. On the day of the orientation, our house was filled with excitement. Laura woke up early, got ready, and dressed in a suit. Her face showed a mix of nervousness and anticipation. "It's time to go." Seeing Laura in her new suit made me feel deeply emotional. I smiled gently, just like on the interview day, gave her a light push in the back, and watched her leave with pride. But Laura came back almost immediately. "Did you forget something? The orientation just started. Why are you back home?" "No, it's not. My employee ID says incompetent." "What? Incompetent?" Hearing the story, my hands shook with anger. The new employees had gathered in the company lobby to attend the orientation, holding the employee IDs they had been given beforehand. One by one, the new employees approached the gate, holding their IDs up to the reader. But when Laura tried to go through, an error message suddenly appeared on the gate's display, and she was denied entry. She checked her ID and her face turned pale. Instead of her name, it read Smith Incompetent. Other employees and staff rushed over to understand the situation, but everyone stood in stunned silence. Then, Brown appeared, her heels clicking on the floor. "I heard about the situation. So sorry, it seems there was a mistake in issuing the ID. Your name is not on the list of new employees." "What do you mean?" "Oh, didn't I tell you? The letter I gave you was a preliminary offer. Just a verbal promise. It wasn't an official job offer. It seems you didn't understand English. We found more competent people than you." Laura was speechless. "We made the ID as a joke, and it accidentally got sent to you." "That's horrible. Why would you do that?" The other employees, who had witnessed everything, murmured in disbelief. "It's your fault. You tried to challenge me." Laura threw everything she was holding onto the floor and ran away. Hearing the story, I couldn't stay still and headed straight to a certain place. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the final preparations for the orientation were underway. "Brown, about what happened in the lobby earlier, is it all right? It will be a big problem if the president finds out." "It's fine. The president won't find out. I have no idea where the president is or what he's doing. He doesn't care about such trivial matters." Brown laughed. "Why did you do that? You could have just rejected her normally." "Because we constantly have people wanting to interview at our company. Most of them are incompetent and unfit for our company. It's tedious to keep reviewing resumes and conducting interviews." The male employee questioned Brown's methods and tried to discuss the issue from a moral standpoint. "But you didn't have to treat that girl like that. It irritates me. These foreign-obsessed women. I thought if we used her to spread rumors that incompetents shouldn't come to this company, it would work. Do you really think that's a good way to handle it?" The cold-hearted Brown tried to justify her actions. "It will stop the incompetent ones from coming, right? It makes our jobs easier. But you put that girl through a lot." "Maybe, but it's necessary for our benefit. Pursuing personal gain by hurting others negatively impacts the organization's credibility and internal atmosphere." Everyone present likely felt the same way. Suddenly, an employee came rushing in. "Brown. Mr. Williams from the General Affairs Department. What's going on? Look at this. What have you done?" Mr. Williams held up his smartphone, showing a social media post. Brown's face turned pale as she saw it. "What is this?" Someone had recorded the entire incident with Laura and posted it online. It spread quickly, and the comment section was filled with harsh words. "That woman should quit. You're the real incompetent one." Spread this, she deserves public backlash. The viewers were expressing what every employee who witnessed the event felt. The video proved who was truly detrimental to the company. Brown hung her head, holding it in her hands. What are we going to do? It spread so widely in such a short time, and the orientation is about to start. For now, let's proceed with the orientation as planned to avoid further confusion. Thus, the orientation began later than scheduled. The ceremony proceeded as if the earlier trouble hadn't occurred. Words of encouragement and welcome were given to the new employees. Jones, who was involved in the recruitment, gave the representative's address. Dear new employees, I apologize for the earlier trouble. However, I believe we can learn and grow from such challenging situations. We are confident you will overcome this challenge, strengthen your bonds, and move forward. I silently mocked him, thinking how hypocritical his words were. You are being welcomed as members of this company today. We sincerely hope you will face any difficulties with the pride and responsibility of a member of this company. Grow together and succeed together. Applause erupted throughout the venue. During the pledge ceremony, the new employees raised their hands in unison, pledging loyalty and responsibility to the company. Their unity and determination filled the room, creating a moment of inspiration. But Laura was not in the hall. My anger boiled at not being able to see her smile. Next, we will have a greeting from our president, Mr. Johnson, to the new employees. I stepped up to the podium when my name was called. That man was in front of the company. Yes, I am the president of this company. By the way, my father is the chairman. Originally, my father was supposed to give the speech, but I asked to say a few words instead. I extend my warmest welcome to all of you. In our company, we place great importance on ethics. Those who lack ethics may be deemed incompatible with our values. I emphasized my words, thinking of a certain person. Always act with honesty and integrity. I believe this is crucial to the growth and prosperity of our organization. I glared at Jones as I said this. His pale face was etched in my mind. I took a deep breath and continued. However, today, someone acted unethically, and no one stopped them. Those who only think of themselves and turn a blind eye are not needed in this company. You're all fired because this building is being demolished. The entire hall buzzed with commotion. I left the stage, ignoring the murmurs behind me. President, that was an incredible speech, truly inspiring. Jones approached me, acting completely different from before. What? I mean, I apologize for my rude remarks the other day. I had no idea she was your daughter. So, if she wasn't my daughter, it would be okay to hurt her. I pressed Jones, my voice rising. No, of course not, but her name. We got divorced, she went with my ex-wife, so her name is Laura Smith now. I see. Enough, call Brown. Brown, who was slumped over and needed support to stand, was brought forward. Yes. President, I'm terribly sorry, please forgive me. Don't think you have a chance, you two are fired, get out and never come back. And so, I fired Jones and Brown. Immediately afterward, I was severely reprimanded by my father, the chairman. We are responsible for the lives of our employees and their families, don't make rash statements. Yes, but those two. Yes, those two can go, but protect the other employees. I will retract it right away. Thus, I retracted my statement from the orientation and focused on protecting the lives of all employees except Jones and Brown. Despite the social media uproar and being labeled a black company, not a single employee, including the new hires, decided to leave. We reevaluated and clearly defined our company's philosophy and values. By practicing actions based on these principles, we took the first step toward regaining trust. Additionally, we focused on social contribution and community support activities to demonstrate the company's commitment to society. Meanwhile, Jones and Brown sought new employment and attended several interviews. You've worked at a publishing company before, right? Yes, I did, I worked at a publishing company previously. I see. No wonder the name sounded familiar. We do not hire people who lack ethics. Please leave. Jones was at a loss for words, his face filled with confusion. He reflected on his mistakes, feeling a mix of regret and anger. Meanwhile, Brown was at home, staring out the window with a deep sigh. Like Jones, her unusual name became a liability, making her job search difficult. Moreover, the video remained online as a digital scar, and people whispered and stared at her on the street, recognizing her from the video. This slowly led Brown to withdraw from society. A year after the incident, my company was slowly regaining public trust. Laura also decided to test her abilities again and successfully got a job on her own. Dad, thank you for standing up for me back then, even threatening to demolish the building. Yeah, I might have gone a bit too far with that. This company's philosophy remains unchanged. We aim to be a bridge between America and the world, promoting American culture globally and ensuring that Americans are celebrated and shine both domestically and internationally.